The holographic declaration materialized above every major city on Earth simultaneously, its crystalline edges crackling with otherworldly energy. The message was simple, delivered in a voice that resonated like 1,000 wind chimes caught in a hurricane. People of Earth, the Galactic Consortium hereby declares war upon your species. You have 30 rotations to surrender unconditionally. Resistance is futile. In the bustling streets of Neo-Singapore, pedestrians barely glanced up from their neural interfaces. A street vendor selling synthetic coffee shrugged and muttered, "Another Tuesday." In the floating gardens of New Venice, children continued their anti-gravity soccer game, occasionally using the hologram as an impromptu goalpost. Dr. Elena Vasquez, Earth's chief of interstellar relations, was in the middle of her daily meditation when her assistant burst into her office. "Director, the aliens, they've declared war." Elena opened one eye, then the other, her expression as serene as a mountain lake. "Which aliens, Marcus? The Zephyrians? The Crystalline Collective? Or is this about those melodramatic Vorthan again?" The Galactic Consortium, ma'am. They say they're going to invade in 30 days. Elena stretched languidly and walked to her window, gazing out at the city where flying cars hummed peacefully between vertical farms. Ah, the Consortium. Took them long enough. She tapped her temple, activating her neural link. "Computer, pull up file Gamma 77. A translucent screen materialized before her, displaying what appeared to be a very old document. "Galactic Consortium," she read aloud. "Species classification, militaristic, hierarchical, technologically advanced, but socially stagnant. Predicted declaration of war, 3,047 years after first contact. Current year since first contact, 3,051. Marcus's jaw dropped. You knew this was coming? "Marcus, humanity has been at peace for 3 millennia. Do you really think we spent that time just perfecting our coffee blends and hoverboard designs?" Elena's smile was enigmatic, though we did get remarkably good at both. Across the galaxy, aboard the flagship of the Consortium's 7th Fleet, Admiral Krexer was feeling increasingly uneasy. The massive dreadnought Inevitable Victory had been monitoring Earth's communications since the declaration, expecting panic, military mobilization, desperate diplomatic overtures. Instead, they were picking up transmissions about something called alien invasion bingo and discussions about whether the war would interfere with the upcoming Universal Sandwich Day celebrations. "Admiral," his communications officer reported, mandibles clicking nervously, "the humans have responded to our declaration. Finally, do they beg for mercy? Offer tribute? They sent us a recipe for something called peace pie and asked if we'd like to join their Tuesday gaming tournament." Admiral Krexer's 4 eyes narrowed. In his 3 centuries of conquest, no species had ever responded to a declaration of war with baked goods and entertainment invitations. Scan their military installations. Surely they're mobilizing their fleets. The tactical officer's report was even more bewildering. "Sir, their military installations appear to be museums. Their weapons factories are producing what our translation matrix identifies as stress relief sculptures and meditation crystals." Meanwhile, in Earth's underground command center, disguised as a municipal composting facility, General Sarah Chen was addressing the assembly of Guardians. The meeting room looked like a cross between a yoga studio and a high-tech war room, complete with floating holographic displays and ergonomic meditation cushions. "Friends," General Chen began, her voice carrying the calm authority of someone who had spent decades preparing for this moment, "Operation Cosmic Patience enters its final phase. For 3,000 years, our ancestors have planned for this day." The assembled representatives from Earth's various regions nodded knowingly. Some sipped herbal tea from cups that hummed with barely contained energy. "The Consortium believes they're dealing with the same primitive species they first encountered, continued Chen. They expect fear, chaos, conventional warfare. They have no idea that humanity spent 3 millennia becoming something else. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, Earth's chief scientist, stood up gracefully. The evolutionary acceleration project has exceeded all projections. Every human alive today possesses capabilities the consortium can't even detect. We've learned to harness quantum consciousness, manipulate matter at the subatomic level, and achieve collective telepathic coordination. We did all this while maintaining the appearance of a peaceful, slightly scattered civilization obsessed with entertainment and comfort food. But why the charade? Asked a young delegate. Why not just demonstrate our abilities? Elder Martinez, the oldest member of the assembly, chuckled softly. Because, young one, the greatest victory is the one that never requires a battle. We've spent 3,000 years becoming exactly what the consortium fears most, a species that has transcended the need for conquest. As the 30-day countdown continued, strange things began happening aboard consortium ships. Equipment started malfunctioning in impossible ways. Weapons transformed into musical instruments. Navigation systems began plotting courses to scenic nebulae, and food replicators started producing nothing but various flavors of Earth's famous peace pie. Admiral Krexer found himself inexplicably drawn to meditation. His combat instincts, honed over centuries of warfare, were gradually being replaced by an overwhelming desire to start a garden. He wasn't alone across the fleet. Soldiers were spontaneously organizing poetry readings and philosophical discussions. On day 29, Admiral Krexer requested a private communication with Earth. Elena Vasquez appeared on his screen, sitting in what looked like a greenhouse, completely relaxed. "Hello, Admiral. I trust you've been enjoying the complementary consciousness upgrades. What have you done to my fleet?" Krexer demanded, though his voice lacked its usual menace. "We've simply reminded your people what they truly want," Elena replied gently. "For 3,000 years, humanity has been developing what we call empathic resonance technology. We don't fight wars, Admiral. We cure the psychological conditions that make beings want to fight them." Krexer felt a strange warmth spreading through his chest, an emotion his species had long forgotten. "You're saying you could have defended yourselves all along?" "Defended? Admiral, we could have conquered the entire galaxy centuries ago. Instead, we chose to perfect the art of making everyone too content and self-actualized to want to conquer anyone else. The consortium fleet arrived at Earth on schedule, but instead of attacking, they requested permission to establish a permanent cultural exchange program. Admiral Krexer retired from military service and opened a successful pottery studio on Luna. As Elena watched the former invasion fleet being converted into a cosmic food truck convoy, she smiled and made a note in her journal. Day 1,095,837 of Project Human. Still nobody suspects we're actually the most powerful species in the galaxy. The secret to universal peace remains safe. And somewhere in the depths of space, other warlike civilizations detected the consortium's sudden transformation and made a mental note to avoid that particular blue-green planet, the one where the inhabitants seem to do nothing but laugh, share recipes, and somehow make their enemies want to become their friends. The 3,000-year peace hadn't ended at all. It had simply expanded by one more species.